Hi there. Welcome to the STC.
Yeah, hi.
Podcast. Are you all right? You all right?
Yeah.
Just
What?
doing.
Did
just
we
having a-
press go?
Yeah, we're going now.
You always do it at the awkward time. I love you for that. Thank you.
We're live. I saw you dip
Yeah.
off the screen. I thought that'd be a perfect
I'm
time
gonna
to
do it
start
now.
the podcast.
Right.
Oh, that was
Hi,
lovely.
welcome to the STC, the weekly No, it's not weekly.
It's sometimes twice a month.
Yes, sometimes the podcast where where we're supposed to talk about law, but we don't,
Yeah,
and we're supposed to ask community things for questions as well at the end.
yeah.
But this time we didn't.
We didn't. We're
didn't.
actually we're sick. We're absolutely sick to death
They're just
of
terrible.
everything. Just terrible questions. You know what?
I mean, ratemyquestion.com, they come at like, don't even bother. That's, So this
Yeah.
time we're flying blind. We're flying by the seat of our pants.
We're flying completely blind, and we decided we're going to stick to a new format for a little bit because everyone watches the top 10 scariest ghost videos
Right.
of 2024. We're going to carry on with our
Yeah.
top 5 battles where we come with 6 things and then we make it 5 things, and
What?
my things are right. I make the
Right.
right choices, and Winters
Yes.
chooses weird, odd choices.
No,
but-
well, the other thing, when you said that, is
Yeah.
it reminded me, like, 2025, we decided that we're going to start with a professional introduction. Like, hello, welcome to the STC
Yes.
podcast. This time we decided that we're going to do that, and we're not even doing that.
No, we're going to do that. We're going to start again in a minute. I just want to apologise
We
to
can
everyone.
re-record this. Good, so I can go in for another one.
Yeah, you can go for another one. This will definitely be cut out.
Mm.
I just want to apologise to the viewers. This T-shirt, I didn't realise how creased it was until I turned the lights on.
You look like crap.
in a dark house. And Winters pointed out, yeah, this is all my hobby stuff. I'm in my
Yeah.
hobby room.
Look at it.
So there's going to be
behind
hobby stuff everywhere. That
There's
box
like a-
is full of sprues.
There's a box up there.
That's paints
There's
in there.
something, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Behind
boxes
you,
and
a
stuff.
blank white wall. I
Yeah.
spent, see this.
Yeah.
This is original 40k artwork that you can get from warhammercommunity.com. The big one
Yeah.
costs like £90.
Ooh, it's good
And
though.
those other ones cost like 60 quid, because on the live streams that I do, people complained that behind me there was just a flat white thing. So I spent,
Yeah.
thank you to the patrons, it wasn't even members, patron money went
Wow.
into all of that. And you know what the other thing is? It
What's that?
annoys me that I didn't get 8 of the smaller
Yeah.
ones.
Because that one's
I've
kind of
got-
off. That's off.
I know.
It's not sent. It's kind of. I don't know what you've done with that.
It's just terrible. So
It's
if
not
you
aligned with
wanna
anything.
Support me on Patreon instead of, and then I can get that redone, and I'd appreciate it. Thanks, because that. Look at it. I mean, the artwork is glorious. That's
really
Flight
good.
of the Eisenstein.
That's all heresy, isn't it? It's all heresy.
It's all
artwork.
heresy. It's all cool all the time, but it's not 8. It's like 5 and 4 ones. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you prefer, then on Patreon, send him the Patreon money and just write in there that please give this to Chris to purchase a better assortment of heresy artwork to put on his, and that'd be better, right?
Because your wall is
Because my wall is just
a wall.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Listen, as the budget increases for this show,
Yes.
we're on quite a big budget already. But
I
when
know.
the budget goes up even more, I'll get a new studio.
Yeah, we're currently sponsored by Apple and
Apple, yeah.
Rolls-Royce. So
Yep.
the budget is quite high with that sponsorship rolling in.
But that all goes on
there.
the editing. That all goes on the fancy schmancy
It does.
editing, the emoji, the horse emojis.
That never appeared. What happened with the horse emoji?
I mean, it's still in production. These
There's
things
about
take time.
5 people watching this right now that remembers the horse emoji. The rest are just like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah, and if you've made it this far,
Yes.
the secret code is where's the horse emoji?
Where's
many-
the horse emoji? Please write it in the chat.
Yeah.
And again, this is only like 5 minutes in, and about
Yeah.
2 people are right. Where's the horse emoji in the chat? Because other people,
No
they
one
don't
knows
know.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
don't
we're
even know
starting
what it
again.
is.
Forget all the stuff we said so far. We're starting again right now.
Did the mic pick that up?
No, you're fine.
Right.
I'll edit it out anyway. 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to the STC. My name's Warsmith Chris, and this is Winter's SEO. This is
Hi.
the podcast where we talk about law We don't answer questions, and we do other things. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and it's
today
yeah,
we've decided in our top 5 series that we're going to delve deep into what are the top 5 miniatures Games Workshop have ever produced in their entire lifestyle that you can buy today. What are the top 5 miniatures? Now, I've picked 3. Warsmith Chris has picked 3. So one of these has to be knocked from the pile. So what do you agree with? What do you disagree with? What do you think should be in the top 5? Clearly, 3 of the decisions from me will be in there and only 2 from Chris. But which one do you think should knock out one of Chris's suggestions and be in the top 5 as well?
Yeah, because this top 5 is official. It goes off to Games Workshop. They process it, and it's very important information for them. However, before we get there, first of all, I wanted to give a little update on my Iron Warriors Horus Heresy army. Which,
how's it going?
For those who have watched, I'm going to give multiple updates actually. But for those who have watched, I have been working on Iron Warriors. That has been kindly the list and the layout and everything was designed by Winters because he's a heresy.
You sent me a
boy.
list. It was shit.
My list was apparently.
I redid it. And
he redid my list.
Work around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last time I think I gave you an update.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I've got all the big bits done.
Yeah.
But I need to do infantry.
Yeah.
Since then, the big bits are still done.
Right.
However, we did decide that my Iron Warrior Spartan was not appropriate to be proxied as a Land Raider Proteus.
No.
Right? So I purchased a Land Raider Proteus and I've built it.
Okay.
So that's gone back in the pile of big things that needs doing.
Yeah.
The Leviathans, the Dreadnoughts, they're all done. They're great. We've got a bunch of the Tyrant Siege Terminators are ready, but I've got more coming out on the table. So I've started on the infantry. We've got the first 10 infantry have reached the key stage in any Iron Warriors journey, which is they're just about to get their hazard stripes painted.
Right.
Kind of holding it off a little bit because it's quite scary, but I've got some plans. I know
Iron Warriors are interested in health and safety.
They are.
So hazard stripes, they're important.
It is really important, yeah. So that's where we're at. So this is getting real close. So we're not far away from that final day where you log on to the internet and it's like Iron Warriors versus whatever battle report. And of course, I'll be great at it because naturally, that's how I roll.
You're naturally gifted.
If I don't win, it is entirely Winter's fault because he wrote my list for me. So I will just claim that he clearly crippled me with a poor list.
Yeah.
But other things that we've done some battle reports. They're not out yet. We've done a battle report.
At the time of filming, we did actually. You came here.
I actually saw him in the flesh. We touched like this. We were touching each other all up on the face. We were trying to check. Are you real?
I was sick for about 3 days after that, honestly. You have a small child.
Yeah, I might have brought you child play.
They are disease bringers.
I'm immune to it now because I've had it for a year. But
wait until she goes to like the nursery and mingles with the other disease bringers. You're just going to be diseased for like 5 years straight.
I'm done. Yeah, and at some point we'll have to have a Death Guard v Death Guard game whilst both being really ill as well. That'd be a treat for everyone. Now, as of today, like we don't usually do like breaking news because this doesn't come out on the same day that the blah, 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 blah. But have you seen the trailer? There's Astartes 2.
Astartes 2.
How bloody good does that look?
Astartes 2 is going to make loads of people subscribe to Warhammer Plus for a week.
Yes. Yeah. And they won't get their free toy. But I've just had that thing on yearly renewal since the start. And
have you? You've got Warhammer Plus.
Yeah.
Have you? I mean, I've watched a couple of shows on Warhammer Plus around a friend's house because I'm not giving them any money because let's face it, 99.9% of the stuff on Warhammer Plus is crap. In my humble opinion. If you think I'm wrong, write in the comment section below and tell me why I should definitely be subscribing to Warhammer Minus. But yeah, Warhammer Astartes 2. Yeah, it's a whole new kettle of fish.
It's a whole new kettle of fish.
Yeah,
we saw orcs in there. We saw chaos in there. We saw lots of different chapters of Space Marines.
Yeah,
it's going to be good. What was it? The secret level sort of follow on from Space Marine 2 with Titus. That
As
was
far as I'm concerned,
lovely.
that's Astartes 2, Secret Level 5.
That was so good, wasn't it? That was a beautiful bit of
I wet my pants. It was that good.
yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I watched it twice in a row because I wanted to really absorb it. But yeah,
Dude, I watched it twice in a row, and then again, and then I went on YouTube reaction videos of
Yep.
strange people who don't know what Warhammer is reacting and being surprised.
Ooh.
By I watched a load of that as well. I must have seen it like 20 times, but
I
10
thi-
times through reaction videos.
Yeah, I mean, I might go and watch a bit of that afterwards because I think from an outside perspective, people probably imagine Warhammer as just a very like nerdy Star Trek thing if they've never really delved into it at all. And then when they find out that it's actually quite a grim, gritty, and it's kind of, I think it doesn't get enough credit for being sort of out there with its ideas. We're so used to it being Space Marines and blah 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 that we find that people complain that Space Marines are a bit boring or bland or whatever.
My one of my guilty secrets is watching reaction videos about other people dealing with Warhammer. Like, so that point about we're so used to it being the way it is.
Yeah,
I've watched a bunch of people like reacting to Space Marine 2 saying, "Is that a flying baby? Is that a flying cyborg? What is that over there?" And watching normal people freak out about some of the stuff where we're like, yeah, that's,
yeah.
there's no tentacles in that scene. So it's fine. That's just normal stuff. Those are the good guys that have lobotomized.
Yeah,
those
they're the nice people.
Yeah.
And this is from like the very first page we ever turned in our first Warhammer, our first 40k or Rogue Trader rulebook. The first bits of art we ever saw.
Yeah.
Already said this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be weird, which I'm going to go into later as well. It's one of my picks.
No, do it now. What do you mean go into it later?
No, because it's part. You'll see it's part of one of my picks for the top models.
One
my
minute.
personal.
So you've
top.
got to keep your powder dry about that one for your argument for
Yeah,
one
for my
of your
argument
top
later.
models is a thing. Have you written a discourse ready to argue for your top 5 models? Is it like it seems like you've come prepared this time?
Yeah, I mean we have cheated a little bit, and we kind of already know what each other's going to say, but we're going to pretend that we don't when we get there.
Why did you?
Sometimes people like to see a bit of the magic. We won't always do it, but this time I think it was good because I wanted to really prepare to cut you down. So
Counter argument, my arguments after the last top 5 we did. I get it.
yeah,
I didn't prepare anything.
I got
But I know
destroyed.
that one of yours is just wrong. Just
Okay.
wrong.
But we'll see. We'll see how we go when we get there. But before we get there, I've got two more things I want to talk about.
Right, okay.
The first thing is for people that have watched the STC, my journey into Tacticus, the mobile game, in which
Yes.
we haven't updated in a while. We had no people there, and then we had a bunch of people arrived after the podcast went out. We filled up immediately, actually. So I appreciate it. I think we've got a lot of silent watchers who don't comment, who don't say anything, but they're there. They're loyal and they're hardcore in the
called
background.
lurkers. In
Lurkers.
YouTube parlance, that's
Yeah.
lurkers. Like when I'm mainly on YouTube, I'm mainly a lurker. I rarely comment.
I don't comment either, so I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. And I don't comment on some of the things which are my favourite videos of all time. I don't even say anything. The creator will never know how much their content meant to me. But there we go. But yeah, we're going strong.
But you can tell the creator to his face. You can tell me to my face.
Oh yeah,
just how much
yeah,
I mean to you, like right now. If you
yeah.
want,
You
right now.
yeah.
You could do that.
I could do that. Yep.
Yes.
I was
now.
thinking of saying it to one of the creators that have
Me.
created something that means a lot to me. Though,
like me, like Winter's SEO,
Winter SEO. That's the one.
the
Yeah.
legend from the 2021 thing. You can say it. I'm here
Yeah. You know what?
instead of lurking. I'm ready to hear this feedback.
You need to go back and you need to update your
What?
victory year because every year it's going to get harder and harder to.
What are you saying?
Nothing. I'm just saying 2021
Yeah.
was a few years ago now. Let's prove that you're still in the game.
It's still a year.
It is still a year, yeah, like the
It happened.
1973 darts champion.
Yes.
Hold on to it. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm going to hold on to that with a sweaty fist for as long as I can. There is only one Legend of Legends.
Yeah.
I've got 100% win record at
Yeah.
GT, ICC, GTSEs, RAC, RAFs. I've
And
got
it's better to quit then, right? Quit at 100%.
100%.
If you never play again, you've got a flawless record.
I play all the time, mate. You see
Yeah.
the channel. I'm
I
one
have
of those
seen it,
content creators that you could turn around to and say, hey, by the way, you complete me.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, if I maybe I'll say it later. I'm just a bit shy right now. That's all. But listen, when I first got into 8th edition, I'm pretty sure after mini wargaming,
And tabletop tactics.
probably after tabletop tactics, and maybe a couple of those little outlier ones, you were definitely creating at least top 20 YouTube content for me. I loved it. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Honestly,
No, listen, top
I'm joking.
20 in the world. Do
Top
you know
20
how many people there are in the world? There's more than 20.
I didn't actually say that.
So-
I meant top 20 in the south of England, but
Yeah, but on YouTube, there's more than 20 people on YouTube. So
You know
I'll
what?
take that. I'll take that. Those victories, I will take that.
I want to tell you a true story though. True
Yeah.
story. Okay, so
True story. A true story. I'll strap myself in.
so I did used to watch. You were the first community I joined back in 8th, right? You're the first.
best.
I said this is the
best
one I want to
community.
join because, for obvious reasons, when someone plays it, when someone makes it a little bit more like how you experience 40k
Yeah.
and less pizzazzy, like oh my god, in American the camera changes every 2
Oh my
seconds.
God.
I found that a little bit hard to follow, but we came to Windsor and I was like, this is a Southern English chap. He sounds very serious, and I genuinely thought you were quite a
Serious.
serious guy. But I think back
No.
then maybe you spoke a little differently. You were kind of very calm and quiet. It was Harlequins versus
It's before I
Custodians.
did the live streams and podcasts. Honestly,
Yeah,
this
something-
is the downfall of the channel.
You were so calm and collected back then, and I just imagined you sort of wearing a suit and glasses and a tie
Yeah.
and just being like that. And God, I was so horrified when I found out
Yeah.
the truth behind it. But you know, here we are. We're doing
I
a
have
podcast.
to look into the mirror in the morning and see this. I'm horrified every day as well.
Were you always wearing the flat cap though, right the way back at the start? That's just your normal style choice, right?
What flat cap?
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, I was talking about myself. I've always worn these, like
Yeah.
going back to when I was in my early 20s. I just like them. They're good, aren't they?
Can confirm it's glued to his head.
Yeah. There is actually loads of hair under here, but I can't prove it because it's glued to my head.
Anyway, back to the Harlequins.
Yeah, no, what was I talking about? No, Tacticus, we are going from strength to strength. Loads of people
Right.
keep joining. It's doing great. So thanks to all the dudes who joined. You know who you are. And yeah, wicked. Cheers. Final thing before we get onto our miniatures.
Right.
Because we always run out of time because we go
We
on too
talk
much
crap
about...
for
Yeah.
too long. Yeah.
But someone will put in the real start time. That's the beauty of it. We
Yeah,
can...
like starts at 23.
Someone's on that. Yeah. Eldar, right?
Yes.
Now, I know you've got your own individual bits on this,
Yes.
but I just want to cover it very briefly in
Eldar
STC.
are hot.
They've just, Games Workshop just went, you know what? 1997 was a long time ago. Perhaps we will just update the models. And bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the Phoenix Lords, the new
Yeah.
Aspect Warriors. What are you thinking about as a this is a unique question. As a
What?
notorious Eldar
Hater.
hater. Okay, there we go. Hater.
Look,
that's
it's
right
the
word.
law that I don't like. They're arrogant, stuck-up sons of bitches.
Yes.
I don't like that side of things because, at one point, the whole world will come together and we'll forget our differences, we'll forget our intolerances, and we will unite under the Emperor of Mankind and take
Yep.
over the galaxy. That's who I am underneath. And then there's those Eldar out there.
Yep.
So it's the law side of things. I mean, they should just go away into a dark corner and die.
Okay.
However,
Right.
the miniatures themselves haven't been updated for a very, very decades.
Yeah,
If you pointed out,
literally, I think the wings on the uh, swooping hawks were the 1987 or 89 Rogue Trader era wings that were
it
still being
amazes
cast on them.
me that it's been more than 30 years for some of these sculpts to get an
Yeah,
update. It's just crazy.
for such a big faction as well. They're not
I
exactly a
know.
minor faction.
They're popular for some reason. I don't know why. They're just insane people. But the sculpts for the new aspect warriors are amazing. They look really good. I
Yeah,
like the aesthetic of Eldar. I've always said this. I like the dark Eldar aesthetic with all the razor blades and things.
yep,
I like the Harlequin aesthetic. If you're a golden demon painter, you can make them
yeah,
look like no other army on the tabletop. And I like the Eldar aesthetic. It looks good. I like killing them. So they're amazing.
yeah,
The Games Workshop sent through quite a few boxes and things and fire dragons and did it. And I did a bunch of shorts. And then it turned out, who knew, Sultan, who only has one or two armies, he's
yeah.
not a prolific collector of many armies. He
Yes,
suddenly got an Eldar army, so I gave them to him, and he's like, he painted them, and they're on the channel already, and it's exciting. It's
lovely.
good to see that the Eldar have finally got some love with some of the things that they should have got some love, like let's say a decade ago, rather than 3 decades ago.
Yeah, and Sultan's quite good at. He likes those sort of tricksy Hobbit interactions as well, doesn't he? Like he likes figuring out all the ways you can use bits and pieces together. Because I read some of the, I read the Fate dice, and I read the Fate dice.
Yeah.
1 means this stratagem, and 2 means that, and you can go up one and down
Well,
one, and
it's terrible.
left and right, and you can
Yeah.
go. And I just thought, you know what, that's not for me.
That's the
not for me.
worst attachment. See, Sultan really likes, because he's only like 22 or something. He's a young summer child. He
Yes.
likes colours.
Yes.
Oh, pretty colours. Is the red ones and the black ones and the white ones and
Yep.
the green ones. He likes the pretty colours. He likes painting, and he smashed them out in record time. And yeah, he likes the colours. He likes colour. This is the reason why he likes Blood Angels, because he's got the red and the gold and the black, and they
Yeah.
all complement each. He likes his colours. He likes his Bretonians in Old World. All the colours and the.
They've got all the
consonants.
colours, yeah.
They've got all the colours. He likes his colours. Oh, shiny!
Yeah.
Shake the rattle in front of his face. So, and he doesn't watch this. He doesn't. He has
No,
no
of course he
idea
doesn't watch this.
no.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I like?
What?
I like iron. I like just the simple colour of iron.
The flesh is weak.
The flesh is weak. Iron is eternal.
His iron hands.
Yeah, that's them.
You're iron
This is
within.
iron within, iron without. Through iron, hate cometh strength. There's the unbreakable litany. Can't remember it. Through hate
Broken
cometh
Primarch.
something. Blah blah blah.
He's quite petty.
Portobello mushroom.
Because you're doing a Siege of Terra.
Okay, yes. So I wanted to segue from the Eldar into our thing, but Siege of
Are
Terra.
we going to
so
get to the top 5 at any
we'll
point?
get to it. It's fine.
Right, okay.
Siege of Terra.
Yes.
So I did a stupid, and you've corrected me, and I'm doing it the right way now.
Okay.
I wanted to listen to the first wall because I wanted some inspo for the Iron Warriors. And actually, the Iron Warriors aren't the main thing going on in there. There's some really cool sub-stories with the Iron Warriors in there. And yes, it's about Perturabo and meeting... I don't want to ruin it, but yeah. Anyway, I finished it. It's got some big twists.
What book is the first wall?
It's the third book.
Right. So you went from the first book to
No, I went from no books
right
to the third book. So I
thought you
missed
said
the
you
Solar War.
started the Solar War at some right.
I'm starting it now
Right.
because I need to find out how we got to where we got to. But I jumped ahead because I was stupid. All right, it happens. People make mistakes.
It doesn't happen.
It does, because now I've gone back to book 1 and I'm going to work my way through in order because I have been reignited. I really enjoyed the first wall as a book
Right.
that looks at everybody, not as a source book for Iron Warriors inspiration, which is what I was using it for.
So what are we talking about?
So we're talking about the fact that I am now starting the Solar War and starting all over again. But
Right.
the first wall is a great book. It's got some great looks at Khan.
See, this is the thing about the Siege of Terra. Is some people say, "Oh, I thought that book sucked." Here's the thing: Every single book in the Siege of Terra is fantastic. It's just some of them are amazingly fantastic.
Yeah.
So when I think there's one, I forget, number 4 or something. There's a couple of books that are just fantastic, and in any other series, if you'd have read them, or if they were in the middle of the Horus Heresy, book 36 of the Horus Heresy, and you read them, you'd think, these guys, this is an amazing book. It's just the Siege of Terra has got absolutely amazing books after absolutely amazing books, just world-class books and world-class depths and pathos and bolters and exploding heads, and they're crucifying titans along the ultimate wall. Lines like that. You know, the first line in the end of the death is, they're crucifying titans along the ultimate wall. Let me put this in your head, Warsmith Chris. The ultimate wall is a 1 kilometer high wall.
That's a big wall.
Forming the edge of the inner palace of the Himalayan plateau. It's a kilometer high, and imagine crucified titans on that. And that's just one throwaway line at the start of the book, and then that's how epic the Siege of Terror is.
Titans are big.
They are slightly large, yes. And so the bad books in there aren't bad. They're great books. They're just in an anthology of books, which is absolutely...
You're hitting them all in a row, so it's more pronounced when one of them is better than the other, and it can make you think that the one before it wasn't as good,
so
but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Concerned, the only sort of person that could do it out of order is some kind of a heretic warsmith or some arsehat like that.
Guilty
You've got to
as
start
charged.
at the beginning... Solar War, make your way through it, because the Solar War is a fantastic book with the fire things around Pluto and the thing. And
well, this is the thing. I found myself, because I went into it going, all right, I want to just see some Iron Warriors stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to see some Iron Warriors stuff. And I found myself not even that bothered with some of the Iron Warriors stuff. A lot of it was good. There was some really cool stuff in there. With the two of the primary warsmiths, how different they were. And one of them gets a bit corny. Sorry, but it talks about the Solar War has happened, like this battle, this massive space battle has happened. I'm like, well, I've skipped that. I need to go back. I need to go back right now. So yeah, I'm starting again properly. I've read book 3. I'm going to go through them in order. I already had the first one. Bought the second one on Audible. So I've got the first 3. I may even listen to the first one again in context with the other 2.
It is a fantastic painting material. If you're watching this at home and you're thinking, you know, people ask me all the time, what do you do in a hobby drought? What do you do if you need the thing? What do you do? I can't paint my miniatures. I've got the... What you do is you download the entire Siege of Terror from Audible, and you start pressing play late at night, and then you put Tuesday aside. Tuesday is going to be my painting, and then you pick up a project, and you won't be able to stop. If you're true Warhammers, if you're into the Warhammers, if you're a true Warhammer, you won't be able to stop. And then Tuesday will be your painting night, and they will know you're on your painting night, and the cat will know you're on your painting night, and you'll be up there for a couple of hours in the Warhammers doing the Siege of Terror, and then that's 100+ hours, and you'll get a whole army done. It'd be glorious.
And then when you walk out of your room, you can imagine you're a space marine, and you can it's very immersive. Like, for certain people, I've always think about it all the time because I'm weird. But so that
you're
was
on the Solar War.
Whereabouts
are you in the Solar War?
No, I'm starting it tonight after this. Okay. I started it last night, but I fell asleep so early on that it's all a blur now. So I'm going to start it again tonight.
Little nurgling there. The Solar War is a really good one. It's good.
I imagine they had to kick off with something good.
It's good.
And they've also announced now that we're going to get one anthology book set afterwards, which is going to be short stories about what happens immediately after the Siege of Terror, which I think will be... I don't know how long it's going to be till it's out, but I might not be able to get there in time. But I definitely want to read it whilst it's or listen to it while it's in the cultural zeitgeist of Warhammer.
Do the Siege of Terror from the beginning to the end. Put Tuesday to one side. You're a Warhammerer. I look at you and I think, that's a guy that doesn't hang out in all the trendy bars. That's a guy who's not in touch with fashion. That's a guy who doesn't know what K-pop is. He thinks K-pop is some kind of fizzy drink.
Yeah.
That's
is
a guy... who does the Warhams. So do the Warhams.
I'm going to do the Warhams.
Stay in your lane.
I always do the Warhams. And it's
Nice.
not just Tuesday night. It's about 3 nights a week when I
Okay.
can.
Sweet.
Yeah, anyway, that aside, it's now
Right.
halfway through the time that we usually do for an episode, and we should
Someone
probably start the main thing.
In
you
the
know?
comment section, right below that, the podcast actually starts at 30 minutes or whatever. Someone put that there. Top
Yeah.
5 Warhammer miniatures ever created of all. Hi. Welcome to the STC podcast with me, your host, Winters SEO, and him.
The co-host, the primary host, sorry, Warsmith Chris, and my co-host, Winters SEO.
Bit of paint on there, look. Bit
Oh
of paint.
yeah, so that's
And,
dedication.
today we're talking about the top 5 miniatures that Games Workshop have ever produced. I'm
Yes.
going to pick 3. Warsmith Chris is going to pick 3. One of them is going to be dropped out of the top 5. Take it away, Warsmith Chris, with your first suggestion.
Okay, we're removing nostalgia from this. I'm removing
Yes.
nostalgia for this for me, which means obviously all my picks are going to be newer models because let's be honest, the newer stuff really has hit home. Doesn't mean I don't love the older models. Just want to put that as a caveat. I love some of the older models, and I love many models, but these 3, for these reasons, are the ones I'm picking for this. So my number 3 is the new Keeper of Secrets model. Right? Here's my reasoning. So we've had we had the Bloodthirster,
Yep.
which is a great model at the time. There was not much like it. It was really good. If you look at it now, it's dating a little bit. It's a little bit more of its era. We had the Lord of Change, which they really put all the effort into these. The Great Unclean One really put a lot of effort into these. But there was something when they revealed the Keeper of Secrets, it looked unlike anything they'd put out to date. Just the proportions, the fact that they, at the time, Slanesh was in a weird place where people weren't sure whether it was being sort of slowly taken out of the game or if they were going to try and change it away from the kind of sexy gender fluidity thing. We weren't sure, and then they dropped this, and the alternate build, Chalaxi Hellbane as well, is absolutely so magnifique. I think at the time that it came out, I remember marveling at it, thinking this is a pronounced step forward in the kits that Games Workshop are producing. It's got a lot of spindly bits on it, but if you build it with all the spindly bits, it just looks incredible on the tabletop. Having those things coming forward, the way it's posed, striding forward, like catwalk style. You can imagine the movements of it. You've got the classic Slaneshi looking stuff in it as well, with the big blade arms coming out the top. Obviously, it's got one boob and one non, so it's keeping in themes of the classic Slanesh that you imagine. And for that reason, I really think it deserves a place because it felt like the start of a new epoch for Games Workshop miniatures, and we now have a fat cat. See, come to ruin everything. What did your fat cat have to say?
Yeah. What? Who? Sorry, I was just interrupted by my pussy. Sorry. Are you gonna? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Even he was bored. It's got one boob.
Yes, I actually did say a few more things than that, but we can
one.
cut to just that bit. Yeah, one. That's all it needs.
Like 2 boobs is the minimum. 3 boobs is a bonus.
Not
One
if
boob is
you're-
1 boob too many.
Okay.
1 boob too few. Sorry.
So what do you think? Are you saying that Chalaxi Hellbane / the new Keeper of Secrets is not deserving of a top
Look,
position?
the greater demons that Games Workshop have produced, including Be'lakor,
Yes, Be'lakor is.
are fantastic models.
yeah.
Every model that comes up in this list are going to be fantastic models.
They
and
are,
the Keeper of Secrets, it's a fantastic model. But fantastic models, the top 5 models that we're going to be talking about today, and thank you for kicking this off, but the top 5 models that we're going to be talking today
Yeah.
are so fantastic that when they came out, you don't just want to buy that model. You want to buy a whole collection.
Okay.
You want to buy a whole army. And Slanesh And much as that model is absolutely gorgeous, there's not a lot of Slaanesh armies out there. It's not tickled the pickle in the way that it should have.
I see what you mean. It hasn't inspired a load of Slaanesh armies. At least not in 40k. I'm sure the Hedonites of Slaanesh had a range refresh that was generally fantastic across the board. But we're not talking about Age of Sigmar right now. So
listen, I'm not also saying I want to get it on record that I'm not saying that one boob is bad. Like, if you woke up tomorrow with a boob, okay,
one is fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I would spend hours in bed. I would just I've got a boob. I would. That would be a distraction in and of itself. One boob. But it doesn't. So the other models that we're going to be talking about. So, for example,
what's your number 3? Let's go.
Number 3. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The Necron Tesseract Vault.
Okay.
I saw that thing in the flesh. Here's a true story. This is a true story. You're talking to Winter's SEO, the No Retreat Legends of Legends 2021 champion. I don't know if I brought that up before. I went up to Warhammer World with my buddies, a bunch of other SEOs, Grey Knight SEO and Alex SEO, and that's their official name. That's what's on their birth certificate.
Yep.
And we went up there with money in our wallets to start AOS.
Oh.
We brought our 40k armies up. We booked a table. We played on the table. You know, they have the theme tables.
Yeah.
We played on the theme table. We did the Bugman's thing. We stayed the night. We got really drunk. And we went around the hall to buy AOS armies. And Winter's SEO was going to start, and Grey Knight SEO and Alex SEO was going to start AOS. I had hundreds of pounds in my pocket. I was going to start. And we walked through the whole top of the exhibition thing. And I looked at all the AOS stuff. And then I went downstairs on the AOS thing, and I saw the Necron collection with the Tesseract Vault, and it's the first time I saw the Necron Tesseract Vault in the wild, in the flesh, and I went, oh my God, that's amazing. And in 2022, I collected and painted 10,000 points of Necrons because of the Tesseract Vault, Necron Tesseract Vault. It is one of the top 3 models that Games Workshop have ever produced. If you ever get to see it in the flesh, it is amazing.
It is an amazing thing. It looks very cumbersome as well.
It is cumbersome.
It's the Tesseract Vault.
It is horrible to play with, and that's why I love it.
Is it the one that's fully open?
A Warhound, yeah, the fully open one
with the Catan in it.
God on the inside with the things. It's much bigger than you think it is because it's fully open. It's not just this way; it's also that way. It's one. It's impossible to play. It's been on the channel like -1 times because it's impossible to play with on a thing. Yeah. But just like the Warlord Titan or a Reaver class Battle Titan or anything that's big and beautiful and bitchin', this thing is big and beautiful and bitchin' and made me collect and paint for an entire year Necrons. It is a glorious model.
I'm going to come back at you immediately with a controversial statement, and that is that I think the new... What is this guy?
Wrong hole. Go on.
I think the new Monolith
is
my favourite Necron model. The new Monolith.
I got 2 of them.
I know you've got 2 of them, and people will understand why at some point in the future, how I know you've got 2 of them. However, I do genuinely think the Monolith, just the fact that you have a giant floating pyramid with warp gates. I love the Catan thing. I love the fact that it's all like linked to the parts for the Tesseract Vault, and it's like as they open, its energy is in there, it's stored in there and everything. But just for the fact that I think, as a model, it's a real pain in the arse. It was used as a bit of a scummy... You brought 4 of them or 3 of them or whatever to a tournament a while ago until they got nerfed. It was overused. But the Monolith, I think, has... It's a deadly space pyramid with a hypergate in it. It's
Warsmith, Chris. I wouldn't have 2 monoliths if it wasn't for the Tesseract.
I get it, but then it's kind of like an entry level model, then, isn't it?
We're not talking about models that you want to play with.
I know.
We're not talking about models that work well in games of Warhammer 40k. We're talking about models that if you put them
visually,
down, in front of a 5-year-old and you put down a monolith, which is a pyramid, and
Yeah.
it looks really cool, and the new one has the wraith wrapped around the back.
Oh,
It does
yeah.
look really cool, and the 5-year-old will go, wow, that's amazing. But you put down a tesseract vault with the expanded things, with a star god on the inside, and
Yeah.
the 5-year-old will want to shove it up its left nostril because that's what 5-year-olds do.
They do that, yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
they do.
All right. I will.
It's clearly a better model.
Okay.
It's amazing. I mean, you're talking about also a guy that had like a dozen 40k armies.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who also went up there with like, I had about 400 quid in my pocket. I was going to drop on AOS. You're talking about a guy who didn't want another 40k army. You're talking about a guy who's got lots of experience in running against Necrons. You're talking about all these things, and I saw it in the flesh and went, oh my God, that's an amazing model. And it's set up there now, and it's been on the channel like three times. But it's amazing. It has such presence.
Can you bring it? Is it wieldy enough for you to bring it over? No.
I can, yeah. It's 1 minute. You're gonna
Without
have to
breaking it.
Talk to the people.
All right.
1 minute.
So at this point, I'd like you to place your bets as to whether Winters manages to break his Tesseract vault, because despite the fact that he says it's a good model, and yet it's a good model, there's something about it. I don't think it's in the top 5. I think the monolith is a much sleeker, more beautiful design.
It is sleeker. This is not sleek. This is unwieldy. You can't use it in match play. You can't do anything with this. Look at the size of that from a top-down look. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is a star god. When you talk about a monolith expanding outwards, collapse inside a thing, this is 13 inches from side to side. I have to, on the 2 or 3 battle reports where it's actually appeared in, I've had to set up the table specifically, knowing that this can float down some of the avenues or not. It's just...
The wraiths all around the outside are fantastic as well, embedded in. You only get one on the monolith now, I think.
Look at those things. It's just, I mean, no other model in 40k looks like that. No other model, if you went into, oh, look, there's a M3 Abrams. That's a battle tech thing. That's nothing looks like this. This is Games Workshop at its finest. There is no other game system which has something as stupid and unwieldy as this in it.
That is stupid and unwieldy.
An incredible model.
So you showed me another model recently that I hadn't seen in the flesh.
Yeah.
That I'm going to argue actually looks aesthetically similar to that.
Okay.
But is better.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Okay, better. Okay,
Yeah.
throw it at me.
So that Charybdis
1 minute.
assault claw, whatever, what's it called? Nemesis.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry. The Charybdis Assault Claw.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has. It's big. It's chunky. I've got to say, if I had to pick between the Charybdis and the Tesseract Vault,
Yeah.
who are similar in style, I'd still go for the Charybdis. I'm not sure we're going to go. I'm not sure how I feel about this Tesseract Vault, but we need to see what other models are in the list.
Okay.
So I'm not just playing devil's advocate here. I genuinely think the Charybdis might win that one out.
The Charybdis is a lovely model.
But you're right. It doesn't make me want to start an army to go in the Charybdis.
You don't say, "Oh, look, there's a drop pod." It's a big drop pod
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a
yeah, I
transport
get it.
capacity of 24,
And it
but
flies
it's
on
a
its
drop
side, and it
pod.
looks so cool when it flies on its
This
side.
is a star god
Yeah.
trapped for millions, tens of millions of years inside a thing that they only unleash at 5,000 point games and above.
Yeah.
It's
What's the other thing that can build 2 models, can't it?
you can close it all up and it
Yeah,
builds the obelisks.
the obelisks, which are like mega monoliths, really.
Mega monoliths, they
Yeah.
float. They're like, obelisks are basically like SAM turrets.
Yeah,
They float around above the planets and shoot down any incoming fighters, and that's it. They're big, floating star forts with lots of guns,
cool. Okay.
which is cool but not as cool as having something inside, which is a star god.
It's a shard of one that's been trapped in there, right?
Yeah,
So
it's an incredible model.
a god-powered machine. And it does remind me as well that when the Silent King was released, he is another very eye-catching, exciting model. He's got a little star god trapped above him, isn't he?
Can I say as well, has there ever been a model, you've been in the Warhams for a long time, decades.
Yes.
Has there ever been a model that you thought is so amazing that it made you collect an entire collection? No. I take that as a no.
Well, to a certain extent, the new Helbrecht model.
Right, but you have Black Templars already. That doesn't count.
No, I didn't. I got them after Helbrecht.
Oh, so Helbrecht for you is one of those.
Helbrecht was like, wow, these guys are really these new Black Templars are really, really beautifully done. They've got a lot of love in them.
There's people out there. Write in the comment section below if there is a model that came out, and because of that model, now you have 3,000, 4,000, 28,000 points worth of a thing. Write in the comment section below. What is that model? What is that thing? For me, after 30 years in the hobby, it was the Tesseract Vault.
Yeah, it nearly did it. What's the name of the new, very, very large Tyrannid creature? The
Hierophant.
No, the plastic one that came out.
Norn Emissary. Or
the Norn Emissary.
Assimilator.
Yeah, I really liked those, and it was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough. It wasn't quite enough.
Right.
And things that quite easily get me as well. The new Abaddon was another one that really tickled my fancy.
Okay.
But I was already collecting Chaos when he came out.
So what's your second pick?
My second pick. So this is one I referred back to earlier. I said, right, I'll discuss this later. So from the very first time you look in, once 40k had really established its visual style, which might have been sort of second edition, you can argue it because Rogue Trader had some different kind of stuff in it. But once it had really, really locked in its visual style,
Third and fourth.
You start. Okay, third and fourth then.
First and second were the Rogue Trader era, really.
Yeah, the second edition rulebook definitely had some. The artwork was really exciting still.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we'll say third edition where it locked in the really gothic themes and everything.
Yeah.
And you kind of knew that Warhammer, when you're looking at the buildings, the vehicles, everything, it was very gothic, had that style to it. And you're looking through, you got your super weird John Blanche stuff, and it's
Second, third, yeah. I see what you're going.
So, my choice is the Exorcist tank, the new Sisters of Battle Exorcist tank, right?
Right.
The reason why,
is
I think it encapsulates everything you expect from the Imperium.
Right.
From all that artwork, basically churches grafted onto giant war machines, spaceships, planets, mountains. This is a tank that is basically a church inverted. It has a giant church organ on the back of it that is also long-range missiles, right? It's a devastating weapon, and it's an organ played by a nun who is out there to purge heretics, purge the witch with bolter and flame.
Okay.
Riding around on a mobile church-themed tank.
Right.
I think the visuals of it, the design of it, and the idea behind it are just 40k condensed into a single kit.
Okay.
And it's built onto it's a Rhino chassis, which for people that have been in the hobby for this is what we're saying. This is what I'm saying about
on a boring.
The Rhino chassis is iconic.
Organs on a boring.
Okay, organs on a boring thing. But I think personally, a moving assault church is just 40k. Yeah.
Right. So can I ask you a question?
Go on, ask me a question.
Of the entire range of Warhammer 40k and all the models they've ever created.
Yes.
You pick something on a Rhino chassis. Why is that?
It's iconic. A Rhino is 40k. Rhinos have been there featured in almost every army you ever see.
Exactly.
Something on the Rhino
Exactly.
chassis.
And that's what I thought. When you dropped that one in, I thought, if you'd have said Rhino,
Yes.
I don't know how I could have argued against it.
Because
a Rhino,
yeah.
even normies, rhinos.
Yeah.
Rhinos are rhinos are rhinos. But then you put organs on it. And
The Rhinos have always been there since the start. Everyone knows them. They are just completely ripped off from a real world tank, but we don't need to talk about that. The Rhino...
original IP.
Yeah.
Nothing
It's an original IP. You can't
Yep.
touch it, all right?
Yeah, no Gundam
Everything.
evolved in
Nothing.
40K.
No,
yeah.
no. Nothing, yeah. So, but this is a Rhino that has been gifted the entire essence, the flavour, the aesthetic of 40K in its purest form. If you take a Rhino, which is something we all know and love, and you were to put a pipette into a bottle of the 40K Grimdark universe and drop it on there, you get the Exorcist.
Can we move on?
I think this is very rude of you. I think this is
we're
very...
move on to something, because you're talking about rhinos and sticking ordnance on, and this is the most iconic top 3. It's number, I don't know. Look, we're going to get real right now.
All right, then.
Get real. My number 2, not in any... I don't know if the Tesseract Vault might be my number 1. I don't know. But my number... Listen, Dreadnoughts. Everyone likes Dreadnoughts.
Yes.
Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Basilisk Dreadnoughts.
They do love them.
Brutalis Dreadnoughts. Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Derridere Dreadnoughts. Leviathan Dreadnoughts. Contakar Dreadnoughts. Hellbrutes. Dreadnoughts are so popular that they made about 28 different flavors of Dreadnoughts and put sticker flake in it and sprinkled on top. And they're still selling us new Dreadnoughts now, many years after the OG lead Dreadnought designs that they did. Eldar Dreadnoughts, which are now called Wraith Knights, when they originally came out, they were called Dreadnoughts. Orc Dreadnoughts, which are now called Killcans and Dreadmob, they were originally called Orc Dreadnoughts.
Yep.
Dreadnoughts are one of the most popular things that they ever made cross-species, other than Terminators. So Dreadnoughts are so classic. So Dreadnoughts are in Space Marine 2, the video game. They're that cool.
Yeah.
What is the coolest of Dreadnought kits and looks that they've ever released is the Leviathan Dreadnought. That's a Dreadnought that everyone wants to be walked home from the pub with on a 11 o'clock on a Friday night. That Dreadnought is going to get you home safely. Leviathan Dreadnoughts.
Okay. Leviathan Dreadnoughts. Which one are we talking about specifically? Are we talking about the new plastic kit? We're talking about the Forge World Leviathan Dreadnought? Because they are different to look at. Are we talking about this? Which one are we talking about?
Pick a Leviathan Dreadnought, put it down on the tabletop, tell me it's not cool.
Oh, it is cool. It is. Leviathan Dreadnoughts are cool. Whether it's the best flavour of Dreadnought, I'm not sure. They're very chunky.
Think there's a better flavour of Dreadnought
I
than
just-
the Leviathan Dreadnought? That guy is hench, yo.
He is hench, right? I said I wasn't going to include nostalgia in this.
Right.
But if I did, I would say the plastic sort of mid 40K life cycle plastic Dreadnought kits, the box Dread, the Babby Dread. God, they're just so beautiful.
You said you weren't going to...
But I'm not going to be...
No.
Yeah,
And they don't have knees either, so they don't count.
Yeah. So the new plastic Leviathan
If you want to start there, we can start there. Any
is...
Leviathan.
Yeah, the new plastic Leviathan. I'm looking at it now. I've got one sat
It's a
right
beautiful
in front of me.
kit to assemble, to paint, to put on the tabletop. Do you know what's better than a Leviathan Dreadnought?
What's better?
You play a game of Warhammer 40K and someone pushes 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts up the table towards you and you're like, ooh, I
Yeah,
need to deal with that.
2 of these.
And they
yeah.
look so cool.
I wish I could say I didn't have 2, but I do. I do have 2.
There we go.
I've got
That's
2.
how good they are.
I also, the Contemptor Dreadnought is...
Oh, dear.
I would
If I could pick
Yeah.
one Dreadnought and all the others get banned ever.
No,
and
you can't ban
There's
them.
only one sculpt of Dreadnought that I could ever have on my shelf, painted
Yeah.
there, looking at me. It's going to be a Leviathan Dreadnought. It looks hench. It is so cool. Whoever designed that needs a raise. I mean, I like Redemptors. I like the Boxnauts.
Yeah.
Derrideos, Hellbrutes. Some of
Derrideos,
them
man.
can look crazy with
Yeah.
the spindly arms and all the things coming off. Some of them can look absolutely wicked as well. But Dreadnoughts are cool. Dreadnoughts, let's face it, Dreadnoughts are cool. We like
Dreadnoughts are cool.
We do the Warhammers,
Yeah.
any Dreadnought, any time of the week. We love the Dreadnoughts. But the Leviathan Dreadnought just looks like a beast.
It looks like a beast. I'm just remembering when
What?
Primaris were first revealed, right?
Okay.
And we saw the Redemptor for the first time.
Yeah.
Now, the Redemptor is pretty damn good, man. It is pretty damn good. And I'm looking at them now, and I'm like,
I'll put a Boxnaut over a Redemptor anytime.
I've got 2 Redemptors right there, and I've got 2 Leviathans right here. And I don't know, it's real hard. The Redemptors are damn good models.
Here's the thing. I've got the 13th, as you know.
Yes,
And
I know.
I would rather field one of my Boxnauts Contemptor, Conticar Dreadnoughts rather than a Redemptor Dreadnought. Because they just look better. Your original argument about the Boxnaut Conticar Dreadnought,
Yeah.
it's just so iconic. It's so cool. I think the Conticar Dreadnought looks better. If the Leviathan didn't exist and I had to pick a Loyalist Dreadnought between a Redemptor and a Conticar, I'd pick a Conticar. I'd pick a Boxnaut.
Because I remember the
I would. They're just better.
the ironclad
chunks.
ones as well. And the
Ironclad,
Venerables.
man, dude, I got 2 of them. You can't. They're in Legends Choice with all the things and the missiles in the front. They look so cool. Do you know what looks boxier and cooler than an Ironclad Dreadnought? A Leviathan Dreadnought. You know I'm right. That's the. He knows I'm right. Chat. He knows.
Listen,
What am I
Winters.
talking to chat? Isn't even live
There's
stream.
no
He
chat.
knows
He
that
knows.
I'm preaching.
I'm struggling so hard with this. I really think we break the rules
What?
and say number 2
What?
is like most of the Dreadnoughts.
Most of the Dreadnoughts. Basically, you want to concede that my idea about Dreadnoughts is good,
Dreadnoughts is great,
but you don't want to concede.
I
it all the
can't
way.
decide
It's like Dreadnoughts.
I
in
can't
general.
genuinely decide if the Leviathan is my favourite. I bloody love Leviathans.
Okay.
I
let's get the
bloody
chat
love all of
involved.
them.
Let's get the comment
Right.
section involved.
Someone's got to
Okay,
help.
we're going to break this in the top 5. Dreadnoughts clearly have to be in the top 5. Just there's so many varieties, so many flavors, and they are so cool. And if you're watching this, you have at least one Dreadnought. Unless you're a filthy Xenos lover, then you can get out.
Yeah.
Dreadnoughts are cool. We're just going to put Dreadnoughts in the top 5, but I need you in the comment section to thumb up and write down what is your favorite Dreadnought. What is the best? Why am I right, basically, in Leviathan Dreadnoughts are the coolest, or another type of Dreadnought?
I want to go a step further, and if you're if you're a channel member and you've got access to the Winters Discord, let's go to the STC discussion thread.
Okay.
One of you needs to be the first to start it, otherwise I'll spoil it by writing it now. Go to that thread and let's get this conversation going, because I think this will be...
Dude,
how
you just chucked a hand grenade over the wall. That conversation is going to go on for about 3 days, and it's going to be about 5,000 posts.
Yeah, but I want
Maybe
that
50, but
because
it's gonna...
we've got to find out. But I can't answer this. It's so good.
The Leviathan Dreadnought is the coolest looking Dreadnought. It's got the most devastating weapons. I'll give you some more reasons.
Yeah, it's
The
got great
Leviathan-
weapons.
Leviathan Dreadnought pattern is the only Dreadnought pattern forged in the forges of Terra, not Mars or other forge worlds. It is from the dark age of technology. So Dreadnought pattern technology existed for a long time, but that's one of the ones that the Emperor kept close to his chest. It burns out the occupant of the Leviathan
big
Dreadnought
time,
over time, so they don't last a very long time. A lore article that is so cool that they put it in the Redemptor Dreadnought. Now the Redemptor, Ballistus and Brutalis chassis in the modern 40k also burns out the life of the person. That's something that they thought, hey, that's a cool idea. The Leviathans do that. Let's steal that as well. It has access to graviton weaponry, which is prescribed weaponry from before the Emperor came around and before the fall of it. It's just so cool. It's got phosphex canisters that launches, again, prescribed weaponry. It's the toughest, biggest, nastiest thing on the battlefield. They are epic. They look cool. And I want at least 10 of them in every single army I've...
Yeah, they're just... that's the good thing about having the old Iron Hands, is that they love They love stuffing someone in a dreadnought, right?
Here's the thing. Here's the kicker for you, Warsmith Chris, right?
Yeah,
Tomorrow, you face the 13th. I put a couple of dreadnoughts down.
yeah,
I put a couple of redundant dreadnoughts down. Or, opposite the table, I put 2 Leviathan dreadnoughts down.
yeah.
It's a different thing.
It's a different thing. Yeah, it's saying you mean business. You want to.
Yep.
You want to
That's
cause
why
some
they're the best
damage.
dreadnought.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to write anything in the comment section below because I know I'm right. Right, moving on to your top pick. And
This
your
is gonna be
three,
worse.
Because
This-
we've got to get this to the... what?
This is going to be worse than that
This is
dreadnought.
exciting. I'm excited.
Okay, let's just reveal it both at the same time because
Top
this is.
number one model that Games Workshop have ever produced.
So my number one model.
Yeah.
Can you get your fist here? We're pushing against each other.
No, you
like
need to do your fist the other way around. So I
Oh.
push it. There we go.
Star Wars. It's like this. You're trying to push it.
Yeah.
My number one model, I've said, is the Primarch of the Death Guard Mortarion.
Angron.
And now here we go again. Right. Oh.
You picked the wrong Primarch, bro.
didn't.
So in the top 5, there has to be a Primarch because let's face it, their Primarch models
They're
are
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah. Magnus is
Horus,
great as well.
across the Horus Heresy range, across the 40k range, pick a Primarch, any Primarch, they're amazing. All of the Primarchs, 9 out of 10.
Yes.
I love them
Yeah.
all. If I had a shelf in my room and there's all the Heresy Primarchs and below them all the 40k Primarchs, I'd be a very, very happy Warhammerer. Very happy. But the best one is Angron.
Is Mortarion, yeah. And do we want to explain why? Yes, we do. So, unlike
Or you can just agree with me.
no, so we've got three. We actually know all four. We know what all four of the Chaos God Primarchs look like now.
We do. Yeah.
Fulgrim looks great and everything, we knew what he was going to look like.
Yeah.
Bit weird, I think, that he comes out after the Fulgrim Ascended or whatever it was, the Horus Heresy one.
Yeah.
But looks a little bit more stable
Yeah.
than that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a Snake Man. He looks fantastic. 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Same with Magnus. Looks fantastic.
My view on Magnus is he did plenty wrong, and anyone who disagrees is clearly a mass murderer.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
My view on Magnus is that perhaps his intentions started off better than some of the other Primarchs, but eventually ended up being the same. But that's what happens when people prejudge you as evil. So
I think people who collect Thousand Suns probably stab puppies.
they do. The only people I know that play them really well are definitely puppy stabbers
Puppy stabbers.
and murderers. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you've got to be real cunning and evil to
So
play
that
them.
leaves 2.
So that leaves 2. One of them is the Stinky Boys. One of them is
Yep.
the Angry Boys. Right.
Yep.
I totally agree with you. Angron, 9 out of 10 model. But I'll
Okay.
tell you what I said when I saw Angron revealed compared to when I saw Mortarion
Okay,
revealed.
hit me.
Okay, so when I saw Mortarion revealed with his big moth wings and
Yep.
he's floating in the air, he's super imposing, he's got all this stuff going on, I was in absolute awe. This is going back a few years as well now.
Yeah.
It's not like, he was the second Demon Primarch to be revealed,
Yeah.
and he was, again, a bit like the Keeper of Secrets. It was like level up. What was there, apart from Magnus, what was there of his scale and ambition?
He was the only second Primarch to be released.
He was the only
There
second
was
Primarch.
Only Magnus in 40k.
Yeah, but he'd even, like, Magnus was very impressive, but this took it another level. This was like, and the paint job was amazing.
Amazing.
Death Guard were all being announced and everything, and they were looking great. I'd really liked Plague Marines before. The aesthetics there were just kind of gross stuff. And Mortarion, I think, still lives up to that today. I think his model is still just as, it hasn't aged poorly with new additions that have come along. If anything, he competes very, very well with the models they're previewing to come out tomorrow. I still think he looks better than Fulgrim, who isn't even out.
Well, at the time of this video, really.
At the time of this video.
No, I agree. Mortarion is an incredible model. Are you saying
When I saw Angron,
you
can I just finish
collected
this?
an entire army?
I collected an entire Death Guard army based on the full release, but Mortarion was definitely a big part of it. And I painted the whole lot, and my best bros, Mikey P and Andy, got me Mortarion for my birthday. It was wonderful, right?
So what you're saying is one of the criteria of being one of the greatest models
No, it's
Games
no,
Workshop have
no.
ever produced is
No.
when you see that model, it is so good you need to collect an entire faction. That's what
Nah, that doesn't sound right at all.
That's
However, when I saw Angron, okay, when I'm very much into, I was very much into Chaos factions, right? Go, just get him out of this thing. I was very much into Chaos faction, and World Eater is one of those things I've been waiting for a long time, and I love the World Eater's tiny range. But when I saw Angron, I saw a slightly missed opportunity. I'm not going to lie. I think Angron looks great. Put that away. Does anyone like that model? Does anyone actually like that model? I really want to know.
I collected an entire thing, just like you when you saw Mortarion.
Yeah,
So
he was
basically,
part of it.
You defeated your own thing.
No, because
when
it
comes to the Tesseract Vault.
No, stop trying to make me like the
Except
Tesseract Vault.
Mortarion is the thing. Right, okay. So I think Mortarion is incredible. I
Yes.
like him on the tabletop. I like him to look at. He's visually stunning. When I put him down at events, people come over and go, oh my God, that's Mortarion. I'm like, yes. Mortarion is incredible. He's better than Magnus, better than Gulliman, better than a lot of 30k sculpts as well. It is a fantastic model. It's up there with Be'lakor, which I didn't include in my top 3. If I had a 4th, it would be Be'lakor.
I'm kind of
Be'lakor is
regretting.
incredible.
Yeah. Why didn't we put
Incredible.
Be'lakor in?
But Leviathan Dreadnoughts are just and this is just it's so 40k.
Okay, I'm
And
making an
I
executive
picked
decision.
I picked a Primarch as well, which is incredible. Go on, what?
I'm changing Keeper of Secrets to Be'lakor. I don't even need to explain why. I think most people at
in this
home,
top 5, we're going to drop one.
we're dropping one.
We've already dropped one.
Thinking about it now, Be'lakor actually blew my socks off when I saw
Be'lakor's
him.
incredible.
He is so bloody good.
It's an incredible model.
He sits one step above
So
the
when
Keeper
I
of
was
Secrets.
compiling my top 3, I was thinking of, are there any models better than Be'lakor? That's what I was thinking.
Right, yeah.
And I could think of 3. And this was one of them.
I think you've thought of the wrong 3, but it's nice that you were able to.
Your Primarch is the wrong Primarch. Shall I tell you why?
Go on
Shall I
then.
tell you why?
Tell me
Angron's
why,
better?
yeah.
Shall I tell you why Angron's better?
Go on then.
Because it's Angron.
Oh no! You can't do that. Tell me why Angron's model is better than Mortarion's.
Okay. You come up here to face an army,
Yeah,
and in front of you a Death Guard and Mortarion.
yeah.
Or World Eaters and Angron.
I'd genuinely be more concerned about fighting Death Guard and Mortarion. And I'll tell you why.
Angron looks better.
No.
He's faster. He is the most obscene close combat monster
Yeah, he's
in
obscene.
the world of
Yeah.
Warhammer 40k, and he should be, and he is, and he just...
And he
it's
comes
Angron.
back. He's an arsehole. He comes back.
Angron.
He is also just a slightly armoured, modified bloodthirster, right? Whereas Mortarion is...
So I've heard this counter before. No, I'm going to stop you right there.
Oh, okay, go for it.
People have said that, oh, I don't like the Angron model because he looks a bit like a bloodthirster. I've heard this before by people in the YouTube's comment section who also say that, oh, I quite like Eldar and going for long walks on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and I like blue cheese. And other, there are weird people in the world
Yeah.
who like blue cheese.
Yeah, okay. I like blue cheese.
If you're in 40k and you've seen a bloodthirster model in the flesh,
Yes.
which I don't know if you have.
I have.
Put
I've
them
killed
side
them.
by side next to an Angron model in the flesh.
Yes.
They don't look
No.
anything like each other.
No.
That's a bit like saying, oh,
No.
I
No.
like those Space Marines over there.
Stop.
They look a bit like Votan because they're also in.
No. If you took a
It
bloodthirster...
doesn't look
Stop.
like the same. They're similar in the same way that
Yes.
clouds are similar to fog.
No.
In the same way that turning the lights off in your room is similar to the universe and the blackness of the universe.
If
Like,
you
they're both dark,
took a
but they are
Bloodthirster
not the
and you-
same model, and they don't look equivalent in any of the same way, and they don't embody the same rage, and they don't have the butcher's nails coming out, and every single part of their weapon, every single part of their miniature is a weapon with the claws and things and the stuff. They are not similar in any way, shape, or form. Angron, the model itself, and it's just it's what
You know what?
what.
Here's the top
What?
5
What?
according to me, right? Because
Okay.
you've turned into you. The nails are starting to bite in you right now, and I'm never going to be able to get this. I'm never going to be able to have you understand that if you got a Bloodthirster to hunch over a bit and put on a bit more armor, and then stood it next to Angron, you'd be like, oh look, it's two oh no, it's two Angron. No, it's two Bloodthirster. Top 5 miniatures. Number 1, Mortarion. Number 2, Dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts.
Number 3, Be'lakor. Number 4, Angron. Number 5, Magnus.
No,
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
no. See, look.
No, all right.
I've got.
You can have your
I've got
Tesseract Vault.
Angron. I've got Angron and Mortarion on my shelf.
Yeah,
They're behind me in many videos that I
yeah.
create.
They are. Yeah, I saw them. They're nice.
And
They're lovely.
Mortarion is lovely, and I play with one. You know I love my Death Guardian.
I know you do,
things.
yeah.
I've got but there's just something about Angron.
He's newer and shinier.
I really, really enjoyed painting that model.
Yeah.
How many models, most models that you actually sit down and paint, do you say, like, I enjoy? Most of the time, you sort of enjoy it. And you
I
listen to podcasts,
love
you listen to
painting
a battle
Space
report,
Marines.
You're thinking of that. But actually, the enjoyment of painting the thing,
Yeah.
I've got more enjoyment from painting Angron and making him come to life than I did from this thing.
Okay.
It was just bringing that model to life as well.
Yeah.
Was an incredible experience, and it's Angron.
Okay. So Angron second,
Mortarion first.
Mortarion first, Angron second.
Dreadnoughts.
All Dreadnoughts third.
Right. What?
Wait,
Then
are you
Be'lakor.
really going to put? Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to put the Tesseract Vault above Be'lakor?
No, Be'lakor is really
Okay,
good.
Be'lakor number 3, and then
Okay.
Tesseract Vault. I'll let you have the Tesseract Vault, and I'll tell you why. It
What
is.
was your other choice, though?
Forget about them. It's fine.
Okay.
I've seen the light through these discussions. Right.
Right.
The Keeper of Secrets is fantastic, but when you're looking at the premier class of things like Be'lakor, Angron,
It's just the
Mortarion,
Tesseract Vault for me doesn't look like anything.
There's
else.
nothing like
Games
it.
Work- There's
Yeah.
nothing like. It's
There's
so
nothing like
unique. It's like, what the hell is that?
it's madness.
It's
and
madness.
Necrons are kind of meant to be mad. It's
Yes.
just this pure madness of
Yes.
machine. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
It's crazy on the tabletop. It's crazy to look at. Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, Mortarion. So we're going to go. Number 1 is Angron. Number 2 is Mortarion.
No. we're
Number
not.
3 is Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Number 4 is the Be'lakor, and then Tesseract Vault.
That's
our
right.
top 5.
Yeah. Mortarion, Angron, Dreadnoughts, Be'lakor, Tesseract Vault. Done.
Yes, I completely
As we agree.
Angron, Mortarion, Dreadnoughts, Be'lakor, Tesseract Vault. And if you have any
Yep.
suggestions about what should be in the top 5 greatest miniatures that Games Workshop have ever produced, write it in the comment section below. And we look forward to reading your comments
Yeah.
and your things. It's really exciting. I actually enjoy delving in there and reading all the things. And I'm really pleased that we didn't ask anyone in the community for any more input into this particular podcast, because I mean, most of the time it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
And this one, I think we've knocked it out of the park. I think we completely agree.
Yeah.
That
Have
Angron is the
Mortarion
greatest
first.
model
Yeah, exactly.
that
Yeah,
Games
we've done it.
Workshop have ever produced.
Yeah. Come have a Dreadnought chat in the Winters Discord by
Yeah.
becoming a channel member. We'll
Yeah.
have another argument about that. We can tell Winters how
Leviathan.
wrong he is.
Leviathans are the correct answer to the
Yeah.
best Dreadnought. Yeah.
Okay, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you skip to the end, we start
Right.
about 30 minutes in. If you want to go
Someone
back,
write that in the comments. I'll pin that as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, thank you for watching, and thank you for finding out that the best model is Mortarion, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time, couple of weeks' time. Who knows? Whatever. Because we play fast and loose. We do that thing. But I'm off to film a battle report with him. Keep an eye out for that as well. Go on.
Yeah,
Say
we'll
nice
see
things.
you in a battle report quite
see you.
shortly without Angron or
Yeah.
Mortarion in it, even though Angron is the number one greatest. Are we waving? What?
We might have to make them fight each other, is what I'm thinking.
What? Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Love you. You've all been very
Love you,
kind.
bye.
Thanks.
Angron,
Bye.
then
It's Mortarion. Yeah,
Mortarion,
Mortarion.
and then Dreadnoughts.
yeah.